Hey, what's going on, Facebook world? How's everybody doing out here? I'll give everybody a second to kind of jump on. I know my last two live chats have been impromptus just because it's just been hectic schedule. Even right now, I'm a little exhausted, but we gonna keep this show going because that's what we do. We don't stop. We keep moving. We don't stop. We keep moving. And I love these chats just because it's a way to have these conversations that most people don't have on an everyday basis. We surround our mindset with things that don't truly matter in the grand scheme of things, but it's something that we're taught to do and is a hard and difficult habit to break. So, my goal is to have these chats every Tuesday, to have different conversations, to have something different to talk about versus the regular rigmarole. I want to give a quick shout out to my boy, my ace that hooked me up, Mr. Peter Z, for this awesome shirt, Mr. Peter Zayas, Power of Self. This thing is dope. The brain on fire. It's awesome. I don't see. So we're just gonna jump right to it, man. We're gonna jump right to it. The power of meditation and contemplation. Why meditation? Why contemplation? Well, it's a great subject. Some of the most influential and influential, I should say, and successful individuals that walk the face of this planet all do this method habitually. Why? Because it puts you into a particular state of mind. In meditation, what you're doing is realigning yourself to your true self. What that means is the self watching the self. I'm gonna try not to go too deep because we should always talk about algebra before we talk about calculus, and we should talk about general math before we talk about algebra. So I would say what I do every morning is before I start my day, I have a moment with my girlfriend Jasmine of meditation. We try to do it every single day. Sometimes it's a little difficult just because of schedule. So sometimes we throw like a 5-minute in, or sometimes we do it later in the night. But what this does, it sets you in a state of command versus being a victim, or I should say, I don't know about a victim, but a creature of circumstance, letting your circumstance command your internal feelings, thoughts, energies. You are internalizing those to expand outward. Your energy is one of the most important things that we have. It's our vibration that we extend out to the world. This is how we attract, and this is how we command. What I mean by command is through meditation, you put your mind state in a sense of ease, where your subconscious is very receptive, where you can manipulate, I don't like to use the word manipulate, but suggest to the subconscious mind what actions and feelings that you feel to go into the future. It's like putting yourself in a state already done. I'll show you what I mean. Before I did my East Side performance or book, I always saw myself in meditation doing it. So when I actually did it, it felt anticlimactic because in my mind, in my soul, in my feelings, I've done it already. When I met Mr. Les Brown, it never felt like the first time because it felt like I did it already within my mind. To put yourself at a state of ease is very important. That's why most of the successful people, through arduous trials and tribulations, they always put themselves at the state of ease. So while most people will be quote unquote freaking out, these people put themselves in a state of always calm. So we see the gurus, the sages, always calm because they practice this. And in their mind, they always are calm. See, there's a theory, well, not even a theory, it's truly a fact in electricity. Whenever you have a wire through a current, the wire flows, or the electricity flows, the current, I should say, flows through the wire easier and flawlessly when there's no resistance in the wire. When there's a straight wire with no conductors or no resistors, the flow flows easy. And it's instant. Like your light switch. When you have your resistors on, you turn your light off. When you have your resistors off, your light turns on. And that's all it is. It's just current flowing. And your body is made of these energies. You know, you have your chakras. You have your base chakra up to your third eye chakra. And what this does is sets you in a state of enlightenment. With this state of enlightenment, it helps you reach the universe, I should say, not the universal intelligence, the infinite intelligence, what Napoleon Hill coined. What he would call the universal mind, which also we call hi Jasmine, the universal mind, but which also we call the full conscious mind, the collective conscious, where all information, all knowledge, all truth is known. That's why some people can know things beyond any shadow of a doubt without any evidence and no truth. We all have different truths. That's why we have arguments. But there's only one truth. Everything else is mistruths. Now, to put you into that state of receptive, you have to lower all resistance. That's what the meditation is for, is to remove your resistance, your conscious mind of ego that tells you that this can't happen, this won't work, how are you going to do it? Because, you know, your left side of your brain is all analytics. It needs to know facts. It needs to know the how. Your creative mind, all it needs to know is the what and the why. And it'll get going. But that's the right side of your brain that only deals with the subconscious mind. That's why I say if you're an artist or writer or musician, when you're writing a new song or you're being in a creative mode, you have to let yourself flow. That's where writer's block come from, is when they let the left side of the brain kind of interfere and ask some questions like how it's going to work, or how can you do that, or maybe people might not like that. But your right side of the brain is purely on the universal level, where it just wants to create. It just wants to bring forth what's inside you to create. So when you lower your resistance through meditation, you put yourself in alignment to what you really want. What I mean by alignment is when your thoughts, your feelings, and your words, and your deeds match to exactly what you desire. And when you put yourself in that state of alignment, you gain what you desire. I mean, this is something that's known from Gandhi to Martin Luther King, all the way from Anthony Robbins to Oprah. All these members put themselves in a state of receptiveness. So when new ideas, new concepts come to them, it reaches them a lot quicker than the general masses who block themselves from infinite intelligence. Where your body's energy, where you can block your energy through those negative thought habits, which stop you from reaching certain goals. I see people ask me, how did you reach these goals so quickly in your journey. And it has nothing to do with my abilities. It has everything to do with putting myself in a receptive mode. Meaning, I put myself to be guided. Sometimes I'm just relaxing and ideas pop to me. Or a certain concept or a certain speech or a certain idea that once I execute or once I start executing, everything starts to feel like it's falling in alignment. Because I'm no longer using my left side of the brain to figure everything out. Of course, I use my left side of the brain. I work as an engineer. And so using my left side of the brain is important. But for problem solving, the right side of the brain always gets you where you need to go because it thinks outside the box, the general box that society puts us in. Now, to be very successful, you always have to be in a receptive mode because there's always going to be issue. The road to success is very up and down, sideways, left and right. So for you to be guided, not only will you get through those humps quicker, you'll be almost able to bypass them. That's what the great thinkers, the great sages of all time has proven to us, that when we have issues versus blocking ourselves from the results, let them come as is. We could go very deep, and since nobody's watched it anyway, I'll go deep. There's a concept called the Dewdrop. What the Dewdrop is a concept of dark energy. What dark energy is 78% of the universe, where scientists used to think it was only blank space. But as we learn, nature abhors a vacuum, meaning all space must be filled. Ask any physicist, engineer, this is just a fact. All space must be filled. What you figure is empty space, it's not empty space. It's filled by something, an entity. Some people call it Allah, some people call it Krishna, some people call it Dawa, some call it God, some people call it the universe, spirituality, whatever you want to call it. It's a space that takes over all things that are not matter. And it flows through all matter. And the dewdrop concept is, in this dark energy, what they call it, it's like looking into a little droplet of water. And within this droplet of water is a reflection of all the other droplets of water around it. And within those droplets of water is a reflection of all the droplets of water around it. So deep that it goes on and on and on and on to infinity. So what that tells me is made of two concepts: reflective and reproduction. So it reproduces the same thing. That's why when your thoughts are negative, it reproduces negative thoughts. It's just the way the makeup it was made up. Your brain has neuron systems that recreate itself. So there's everything. Everything in your skin, when you break it, reproduces itself. The whole general matter of nature reproduces itself. One. So when and it's reflective. So it brings me down to my thought of contemplation. Contemplation is deep reflective thought. So when you're in meditation or contemplation, you're putting yourself at a calm, receivable state where you can receive information because you're not bombarded by the thoughts of your ego mind telling you what is possible or impossible. When you're in that state of receptiveness, inside your heart, all things are possible. And no longer do you feel the fear of stopping you from moving forward in life. When most people will stop themselves because of society's ideas, their idea of themselves, how they see themselves, or their future, distractions of the outside society. It's the Matrix theory, where the woman in the red dress, have you ever seen The Matrix? When you're in the state of receptiveness, You no longer see the traffic of thought. You see a clear canvas. And all truths start to become shown in your mind. So that's why most of the most successful people have this routine, because they put themselves in a state of complete receptiveness and command before they even leave the house. So they see themselves already finishing that book, already conquering that goal, already doing that art piece, already getting that $1 million check. They already see it before it ever happened. You can ask any of them, did you see yourself receiving this goal before it happened? They'll tell you yes. Because you have to see it before you can see it. Also, I was going to talk about the third eye. Really, the third eye is a neuron inside your brain that is a single piece entity that's in the center of your left side brain and your right side brain. Most Hindu religion understand that. That's what's the point of the dot, the point of the forehead piece. I don't want to mispronounce the name, so I'm not going to say it right now. I need to learn how to pronounce it better. What that means is pure enlightenment. I was reading a book called Power versus Force. If you never read it, it's an awesome book from David Hawkins. And what this book talks about is the level of enlightenment, where most individuals throughout history ever reach this. It's very difficult, but it is very doable. Not difficult in the sense where it's impossible, but you have to put yourself in a sabbatical state, meaning away from all, to really understand the truths of nature and reality. And there's from 0 to 1,000. Most people are 200 and under. There's a very select few, I would say a couple thousands, that are from 200 to 600, which is the average. The 0 to 200 people are those who are, I don't want to use the word bottom feeders, but are in the state of pure reality, meaning they are only worried about the concept of me. What is this doing to me? My fears, my anxieties, my envies, my self-confidence, my low self-confidence, my low self-esteem. What is it doing to me? You're most on a state of yourself, your pleasures, your general animalistic side. Versus your 200 to 600 is more for other people, but it's still very hurtful because you're more concerned about everybody else but yourself. Meaning you're willing to sacrifice everything for other people and give nothing for self, which is the opposite of what you want. We're taught that being for self is greedy, but no, being for self is the way of the Creator. Because when you are pushing yourself to the forefront to be successful, you're not only helping yourself, but you're helping others. So the enlightened, the 600 to 1,000, understand that for them to understand knowledge, inner peace, understanding, when they fully put themselves in a successful place of peace and harmony, they can share it with others. And not only are you putting yourself in a successful place, you're rising everybody up with you. And it's crazy when you read the steps from 0 to 200. That's the average person. You read it and you're like, yeah, I know a guy like that, or I know a woman like that. It's the average person. Most people are for self. And then you have the few that are sacrificed. You have the house mothers. You have the guys that was going to go for their career but decided to fall back because of society or family issues. You're more concerned about everybody else than yourself. And the enlightened understand that self and others are one. Again, like the Dewdrop, everyone is a reflection of yourself. So when you meet people that do not coincide with you is because there's a part of you that you're either rejecting or it's just not flowing. Because you may be in a higher state of enlightenment while others are not. And you'll notice as you grow as a human being, people will fall off the radar. It just happens that way. It's unfortunate, but it just happens that way. So, again, what I want to say with the meditation is when you put yourself in a state of calm and peace, you put yourself in receptive mode. Ideas, concepts, and flow goes a lot easier. Meaning that when you're looking for an issue, say for example, you want to raise your income level. Now, most people will go through every idea, they'll write it down, which is not bad. Don't get me wrong, it's not bad to write your ideas down and think about it. But sometimes we overwork our ego mind to say, oh, how am I going to get this? How am I going to get this? How am I going to get this? And Einstein said, you cannot fix a problem with the same mind that created it. When you put yourself in a receptive mode, you put yourself in an alignment of a higher collective consciousness. And in that higher collective consciousness, all answers are available. So if you're looking to up your income, if you're looking to change your job, if you're looking for the right mate, when you put yourself in a receptive mode, the right ideas, the right concept will come to you. Meaning, say for example, you're looking for the right mate. Something in that receptive mode will ask you to do something. Like when I met Jasmine, well, not when I met Jasmine. When me and Jasmine got back together, I was doing the meditation techniques. I was in a very receptive mode. And something told me to jump on LinkedIn to update my resume. And I hadn't done it in a while. And I always push it off. But that day I decided to do it. And the very first person I saw in my little search bar was her. And then, we talked and the rest is history. So, when you put yourself in a receptive mode of what you truly want and looking for, the ideas and concepts will come to you much easier than if you're trying to rock your brain in a stressful manner. It just won't happen. Or it will happen, but you'll be so burnt out by the end of it, was even worth it. So, again, you could agree with what I have to say or disagree with what I have to say, but either way, I feel this was a successful conversation. I know meditation, people feel that it's a religious subject. It has nothing to do with religion at all. So I know it's not the most popular, unfortunately. It's not, especially here in the west side of the world, where you see the most stress levels. I mean, you see people, we were one of the richest countries in the world, and we have one of the highest suicide rates. One of the richest countries in the world, and we have one of the highest suicide rates. We have one of the highest medication distribution rates, where other countries ship and export their medication over here because they know they'll make money. We are in a position where most of us have to see psychiatrists just to function daily. When the eastern side of the world go through their problems, of course, but the ones that understand the pure enlightenment and pure centeredness of energy puts themselves in a much better position. They could be poor, but they're way more at peace. So, I hope you don't understand the don't be misunderstood about the ideas of meditation. All meditation is going inward to who you truly are, not outward to where you're not. You're not your name, you're not your height, you're not your weight, you're not your size, you're not your girlfriend, you're not your boyfriend, you're not your car, you're not your house. You're pure energy. And how I'll leave it with this, if you want to know who you truly are, close your eyes. Hear nothing, smell nothing, see nothing, taste nothing, say nothing, just feel. And that feeling of peace and calm and almost nothingness is where you originate from. And when you go back to that, you'll be shocked of how your energy will catapult, how your energy will send out to the world, and how you'll receive more energy. Well, I hope this was a successful conversation for everyone. I hope you got something out of it. If you have ever any questions, hit me up, add a little comment below, and I will see you later.